Okay, yay. Hello. If you're here, I'm going to go set up Instagram. Hi, sorry, I'm coming. Okay, yeah. All right, Pat, can you double check you can see me on Instagram? Hi, everyone. Welcome to my live. Oh, let me change this so I can see all of your comments. It's a little big.
Yeah, I can see.
Yay. Hi, Alina. Okay, so big idea behind today's live is to cook through one of the recipes from Protein Pack Vegetarian, and you can order a signed copy. So you can comment shop and order your copy. Or if you're on TalkShopLive, you're going to just be able to click the link. And you can ask me any questions about the cookbook. Yay. Hi, everyone. Oh my gosh. Hi. Oh, happy Tuesday. Oh my gosh. Thanks. You love my kitchen. Yes, this is my kitchen. You probably, normally when I'm on Instagram, I'm facing this way. So this is a new view. This camera, the computer is propped up on the toddler tower. It's a little precarious. So if I suddenly fall over, Pat's gonna just hold the computer the rest of the time, but I think we'll be good. Okay, we are gonna start by making, oh, hi Gina, are you in your home kitchen? Yes, this is my home kitchen in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Actually, this kitchen was like a big selling point when we bought the house, because the owners prior to us were also in food. And so they had the like nice hood, the gas burners, nice natural light over there. So here's the beautiful book. We are making the vegetarian sub in a tub, which if you have been to Jersey Mike's, maybe you've gotten one. If you're a vegetarian like me, maybe you haven't. So that's why I wanted to put vegetarian spin on it. And this is part of the Make Ahead Salads chapter. And the reason we're making it is because I was already planning on doing it for our lunches this week. So I figured let's do it together, and I'll kind of like show you guys a bunch of my tips and favorite products. Okay, Noah is wondering where Bodhi is. He is hopefully laying over there the entirety of the show and not making a peep. Chandra is wondering, is there a photo to represent each recipe? Yes, there is, and I'll show you more of the book in a second. I'm just gonna get some water boiling. For better or for worse, I purposely didn't really prep anything ahead of time so we could do it all in real time. So hopefully that doesn't mean we're here the rest of the night, but just wanted to show you what's happening. So I'm going to put some water on the boil. Pat, can you actually fill that up a little bit more? And basically this is like a salad pasta instead of a pasta salad. I would say most of the pasta salads in the book have more salad than pasta, more greens, more veggies. And I wanted to show you a few different protein pastas that I like. This is what I'm going to use. Barilla Protein Plus is a really good one if you want the taste of classic pasta, but you just want the extra protein. Banza I always liked for a gluten-free option, but now if you didn't like that chickpea taste, they also have this wheat option. So it also tastes more like classic pasta. And then I actually really like the Oodles. I feel like they're known for mac and cheese, but they have good pasta too. So we're just going to cook a little bit. Well, hi, Evan. Oh, everyone wants a Bodhi cameo. Okay, maybe Bodhi will come on towards the end. Oh, hi, Chesapeake Socials. Is Pat our sous chef for the night? I don't think he was planning on it, but I just put him to work, so he's going to have to deal with that. Okay, so while our water is boiling, we are going to make the dressing. I always like to make the dressing right in the bowl. That way, when we start adding ingredients, everything can start to like soak up flavor and, you know, kind of like marinate in the dressing. And it's just using that time anyway. Why not kind of like build it up? So another thing I like to do with liquid measurements, this isn't exact, but I'll just use my scale so I don't have to dirty as many measuring cups and spoons. So we're going to do a 4th cup oil and a 4th cup vinegar. You'll notice in the book, almost all of my vinaigrettes or dressings, probably just going to use the rest of this, have a pretty heavy acid to oil ratio, like favoring acid. And that's because I really enjoy that tang. So if you like kind of like a tangy salad, this book is for you. Another thing to know is there is nutritional information for every recipe. So if you are tracking your macros, you'll have the exact amounts for every single ingredient. And then if you're not, you can just eyeball things or cook, you know, however you might normally cook and not have to worry about too exact. All right. I think, Pat, have I missed any big questions?
No.
Okay, great. So one of the secret ingredients here, in addition to our red wine vinegar, is the brine from a jar of pepperoncinis. So again, this adds that really nice tang, and I love to use ingredients. We already have this jar. Why not use the brine too? You can also use like the brine from a block of feta if it's marinated in brine. You should always be using the brine in a jar of pickles, like put all of that to use. So we need about 2 tablespoons of that. We're going to chop up the pepperoncinis later, so we're using both. We're just going to do a squeeze of mustard. Get a dish towel. And a little bit of oregano. And then a lot of times, if anything is spicy in the book, it's going to be optional in case you are feeding this to kids or you're not into spice. So I'm going to add a pinch of red pepper flakes, but that's totally optional. And then we always want to, in addition to seasoning the salad with salt and pepper, we want to season the dressing as well. Pat, did you get, oh, okay. The only other thing we need is some garlic, and that's it. That's like a super simple Italian vinaigrette recipe. Think like, you know, your classic like pizza joint Italian salad. Like anytime you kind of want these flavors, if you're not a vegetarian, it's, you know, with your provolone and salami and all that kind of stuff.
How do you store it if you're meal prepping?
Oh, great question. So I actually think I'm going to show you, because the great thing about this salad, since it is in our Make Ahead Salads chapter, is all of them will give you those instructions and tell you how to best store. So even though we are adding ingredients right to this bowl, we're going to set half of it aside and store it in the fridge. We're going to put the rest of the ingredients in because all of the ingredients are crunchy enough and designed to not wilt. So they're going to get more flavorful as they sit. And then each day you can add the rest of the dressing to that fresh salad. If you've seen my series on Instagram called Just Add Greens, this is actually the initial salad that inspired that, because you'll also see we're going to prep some greens. We're not going to add them to our Make Ahead salad. We're going to add it day of. So like I said, this whole chapter is designed to hold up in the fridge so that you can use them for lunch. Or if you're going to a party, we actually brought this salad. Remember, Pat, we brought this to a Christmas party because we knew it was going to be like a bunch of heavy casseroles and stuff. And we wanted to add something fresh. Okay, so here is our dressing. And like I said, we're going to pour half of it aside and keep that in the fridge. Pat, was that you telling me to hurry up?
Well, there's more questions.
Okay.
What's your favorite recipe in the book?
Oh my goodness. Hold on, I just want to make sure we keep moving. I want to just keep going while I'm talking. Also, I think I've shown a lot of you this before, but this can opener is my favorite. Pat, I'm probably gonna have you rinse these chickpeas. Thank you. Chickpeas are going in first into our dressing to soak up some liquid. Favorite recipe in the book is really tough, but I was thinking about one today that I've been in the mood for, which are these crunchy hard shell tacos. I just shared a recipe on my site for this taco salad. And wait, Pat, pour it into a... Okay. The problem with doing all the cooking is that he doesn't know what I mean when I say rinse chickpeas, which is an issue. It's like these crunchy hard shell tacos that you melt cheese into the taco shell. Then you make this really good black bean mixture, stuff them in, top with more cheese, return to the oven so they're all warm, and then you top with all your favorite taco toppings and this really good green sauce. Pat, I feel like you like that one too. And then there's another one in the handheld section that's like these baked tempeh quesadillas. There's a few tempeh recipes that are like the best for if you've never had tempeh before. Okay, just gonna always try and get chickpeas really dry before adding them to a salad. Okay, and then we're just gonna toss that into the dressing. All right, and now we just get to chop some veggies and keep talking. So what's up? What's next, Pat?
Are there any desserts in the book?
Yes, there are. And let me know if you can't see anything, you guys. This is another tip. I have my trash bowl, so any seeds, any parts we're not using, and then if you compost, it'll be right there and you don't have to keep going over to the trash can. So desserts, there's a whole desserts chapter. There's a wide variety. There's a bunch of no-bake options, a really good, a really fun protein dirt cup, which is like a, has the Oreos and gummy worms and everything. But it's made with Greek yogurt and it's kind of got like a little bit of tang. And then we've got a really nice chocolate mousse. We've got like a pumpkin cheesecake cup. All those are like so fast. Okay, Pat's trying to get Pam too at the way he's asking me questions. And so if you've tried the chickpea blondies on my site, I updated them to be even better. And then I kind of had this fun idea to do alternating pages. So it's like we have the chickpea blondies and the black bean brownies. And I promise you, everyone on set loved the black bean brownies. Okay. He's wondering if there's an alternative to cottage cheese in the book. Yes, you do not have to like cottage cheese to like the book. You can totally make things with ricotta instead is going to be the best substitute. Or, if it's getting blended, then it's, you can use yogurt or whatever. Okay, anything else? Okay, we did a bell pepper. We're doing an onion. And yeah.
We're gonna have chickpeas.
Oh yeah, everyone is on my chickpea journey with me. Those were Bush's. Pleasantly, actually not surprised. I really love Bush's beans, so those are a winner today.
What about substituting sheep or goat's milk for cow's milk?
Like in cheese?
Like dietary restrictions.
Oh, totally, yes. And I think any time that we use dairy milk in the book, you can use an alternative, like a non-dairy milk. Also, all the macros are calculated with kind of like whatever I think will be easiest. It's a big onion. I don't need all that. Easiest for you to find in the store. So even though I make a lot of things with Fairlife milk, just to add some more protein, everything's going to be calculated with like your standard 2% milk. So some things might even have more protein than the macros initially say. Okay, also, I feel like we might have some people that didn't join at the beginning. So just another reminder that we are cooking a recipe from Protein Pack Vegetarian sub in a tub. Oh, hi, Mallory. Was there a recipe that surprised you by becoming a favorite? Maybe the spanakopita tortilla quiche. I think tortilla quiche in general has become just like a weeknight favorite. Just because it's so easy. You just take a big burrito-sized tortilla, press it into a standard pie pan, pour your quiche on top, which is just 4 eggs and some cottage cheese and whatever toppings you want. In this case, it's like all the spanakopita flavors of like the dill and the scallions and the feta. And you bake it so much faster than using like a homemade pie crust, obviously. So I think maybe the ones that have surprised me are probably some of the easiest ones because we just make those all the time. The grilled cheese and tomato soup, we made that all the time in the winter. It's like a roasted tomato soup. So you just use a can of tomatoes, throw some thyme in there, roast it in the oven, blend it with cottage cheese so it gets creamy, but you still get the protein. That one's really fun. Yes.
Do you typically wait until 8 to make dinner?
No, that's why we're making a salad for tomorrow. Actually, Pat and I this is probably what time we used to eat dinner when we lived in New York. We would eat really late. But now we try to eat dinner with Daisy around 6. Every once in a while, we feed her something different if we're just not ready. And then we eat after she goes to bed at 7. But no, we already ate tonight. The 8 p.m. time slot is so that she was in bed. And then I also felt like if you guys have kids or you're eating dinner, then this might be a better time. Tomatoes are the one thing where if you're storing this for like 4 days, and Pat doesn't like them, so you could skip these or like add them day up. So actually, I'll probably end up taking some of these out when we pack his up for lunch, but that's fine. And like I think you saw me use, I had like the rest of the red onion left over. You can use any color bell pepper you want. In the book, I always, if I call for a bell pepper, I'll tell you how many mini peppers in case that's what you have. So I tried to like anticipate all of your questions, give you different options for cheeses. Provolone is great here. I had mozzarella. That's going to be equally good. So, very, very flexible recipes. You can be tasting as you go, adjusting as you want. Okay, I think we need to get our pasta in, and then we need our olives and pepperoncini. These are my favorite type of olives, Castelvetrano. If you have the choice. Oh, and we also have some pickled peppers in the fridge. A lot of times I'll buy these at the Whole Foods salad bar because you can just buy however much you need. You don't have to buy a whole jar. Let me see if I can find what I'm talking about. Pat, you want to throw some pasta into that one? Okay, so this is like something else I grabbed from the Whole Foods salad bar. Anything pickly or briny is really good here. I love these little drops. You can throw them right in. You don't even need to cut them. We don't need a ton, yeah. And then just set a timer wherever you want. Okay. What's one of Daisy's favorite dinners from the book. Probably the extra fluffy, probably like 8 minutes back. The extra fluffy, thank you, Amanda, for that question. Broccoli frittata. That one I like to describe as like a giant egg bite if you've ever gotten an egg bite from Starbucks, because it's like that fluffy, it's like the opposite of a dry frittata. So she really likes that one. She does like the quesadillas because she loves, and the grilled cheese. She really just likes melty cheese. She'll like take the other parts out of it. But like I said before, a lot of the recipes, you can choose how spicy you want them to be. Most of the time, like, we kind of end up deconstructing things for her if it doesn't make sense for her to eat it as is. So as I'm going, I'll kind of set things aside. She loves avocado, so any type of taco, we'll make sure she has the avocado. She really likes beans, so that kind of thing. And then her favorite recipes, not dinner recipes, are the cottage cheese pancakes and the blueberry banana yogurt muffins, which actually she ate with her dinner tonight, because that's how I got her to come inside to eat some more, was bribing her with a muffin. Okay, let's see. Hi, Monica. My favorite way to prepare and use halloumi. Okay, so my big tip with halloumi right now is if you have a Trader Joe's near you, it is by far the cheapest place to get it. So go to Trader Joe's and get your halloumi, because it's only available in the summer. And then I have two favorite ways to prepare it. One is just in a dry skillet. If you use any oil at all, you need like a teaspoon, if that. If you have a good nonstick skillet, you don't even need any oil. And you can either slice it into planks or make cubes. Just let it sit for like 3 to 4 minutes. It's kind of like that magical cheese where it'll just get so crispy and golden brown and you didn't really have to do anything. And then you'll flip it to the other side, put it onto a salad. The recipe in the book, which actually, if you pre-order the book, you might be getting this one early. It is a grilled flatbread with the 2-ingredient yogurt dough that I really love for bagels, pizza, flatbreads. And that has grilled halloumi on it. So halloumi is also really, really good on the grill. And that has kind of like a tomato cucumber salad, I think a tahini drizzle, so kind of like that Mediterranean flavor profile. Really, really good. Okay. Wow, there's so many good questions. I don't know, Pat, can you help me choose a question? I'm just slicing up our pepperoncinis. Actually, I want to also show you the salad because it's looking very pretty and colorful. Okay, it's fine. If you can't do it, I can do it. Okay, Evan says, did you have to develop new recipes for the book, or did you know them all before making the book? No, that's actually such a good question. I think a lot of people think a cookbook is just a compilation of mostly existing recipes, which I understand actually could be helpful for people like that, like a written recipe. But what's way more fun and exciting is that 90% of these are brand new, never seen before. And any of the ones that are that I have shared before are specifically in there because they are beloved. And so we tested them again, like the feta fried egg, like we went through all the different issues that could potentially come up, troubleshooted them. So if there is a familiar recipe, it's like now the most foolproof version of that recipe, which I think is really great. And I've mentioned this before, but my cross tester Julie cooked through every single one. She had never made those recipes before, so she kind of like helped, make them better from that sense as well. But yes, they're almost entirely brand new recipes. And I want to say they're like the things that you would see on my social or on my site. They are, But part of the reason I love writing this book is because I also got to develop recipes that maybe previously I wasn't sharing because I was so focused, on Instagram or on TikTok. You're thinking about the hook and the first 3 seconds and if it's going to go viral. And that doesn't always make for the easy weeknight recipe. Like, I was so scared to post tofu on Instagram for so long because I'm like, I don't know if that's going to appeal to enough people. Like, when you're trying to grow a platform, you're like, what is everyone going to love? And then when I got to work on the book, I was like, I just get to make all of the recipes that I think people are actually craving to make in their house for dinner. So they're a little bit more approachable, but they're still really fun. Like, they all have hopefully my Grace spin on them. Okay. Rings a bell. Do you have a good substitute for onions if someone you live with hates them? Actually, we just brought another salad from the book to a friend that had a baby, and he, the husband also does not like onions or garlic. And there is enough flavor packed into all of the vinaigrettes and everything that you didn't even miss it. So if it's specifically like a red onion, you can do a shallot, you can do scallions, you could do a yellow onion. If it's like none of those things, then, I like in a salad like this, you wouldn't miss the red onion because you have the bite from the pepperoncini. Like, you have other things kind of giving that kick. Another suggestion is you can pop red onion into cold ice water if you're putting it in a salad. And that'll really mellow its flavor. So if you don't hate them, if you just don't love them, then that can definitely help. Okay, Jasmine, which ingredient do you wish more people would learn to cook with? Well, maybe tofu. I really do think having a tofu press makes a big difference. So I've recommended that a lot. Of course, in the book, I tell you what to do if you don't have one. I give air fryer and oven instructions for a lot of things. Because I think a lot of people have found that the air fryer can help you get that crispy texture. Beans, I used every kind of beans in the book because they're such a good source of fiber. They're affordable, they're shelf stable, they're ready to go right from the can. Lentils, I have every type of lentils in my pantry right down. I broke down the different types so you're not confused. French green lentils are my all-time favorite because they don't break down when they're cooked. So they're a really good protein source to add to salads and stuff. Okay, Pat's pointing at me to drain the pasta. And we already had the colander out for draining the chickpeas, so we're not getting anything dirty there. Okay, now I am just, oh my good. Okay. We are going to store our greens for this, like I mentioned, separately. So we have romaine. You can use iceberg. We have radicchio, which is a little bit bitter, a little controversial. If you don't like it, use more romaine. You can prep these greens now because unlike a spinach or an arugula or something, they're going to be totally fine sliced in the fridge. We'll put a lid on this container. And then every day that we want our salad, we'll take, it's just a green concept. We'll take our greens. We'll take a scoop of our salad. I think all we need is to add the pasta, and then we'll drizzle with that reserved dressing. So, I mean, we're pretty much done. We're just waiting for pasta to cool. So you saw that. I was not prepared at all before we started, and we are already done. Okay, I need a signed copy of my own book. Maybe I'll order one because I'm getting this one all dirty. Okay, let me make sure I got everything. Protein pasta. We got the chickpeas, we got the bell pepper, we got the cherry tomatoes, onion, pepperoncini, olives, provolone. We used mozzarella, radicchio, and romaine. You guys, We did it. All right. H.J. Elkus. Are there times that you would recommend using dried beans? Okay. No. Yeah, I mean, yes, not in this book. I totally understand. There are some really good like heirloom dried beans where you're not going to find that variety in a can. They can have like a flavor or a texture or a look or a size that you're just not going to get in a can. And those can be really fun and exciting. If you want kind of like that classic pot of slow cooked beans, like stewy, brothy beans that you're going to eat on toast, and that's like you're craving kind of that flavor and richness, and that is your main, maybe. But the last time I cooked dried beans, I think was when I worked in the Real Simple Test Kitchen like 8 years ago or something. So as someone that cooks, that eats beans constantly, I never really use dried beans. Let's see what's in the bowl. Okay, good point. All right, so here's what's in our bowl. Pat, you might need to tilt the camera down. Can you see that? Okay, I kind of left the cheese a little bit big. Okay. Okay. Hopefully that was efficient. I'm gonna put it in a serving bowl. Okay, we're gonna add our pasta. I don't know, what's your guys' favorite pasta shape? Because I feel like this little squiggly cavatappi, I just always gravitate towards. The pasta here just adds a little bit more heft, so it's going to keep you full. It adds protein because it's protein pasta. It adds a little bit of chew. So I don't like thinking about salads as either like a leafy green salad or a pasta salad. Like, let's just combine them and have a little bit of both, you know? Okay, people are saying that was too close. Oh my gosh, Elkus spam. My mom likes pasta too. Can you scroll back up? I feel like I missed some comments. Well, actually, we want a big bowl. My next venture, I probably shouldn't say this, but is what? You don't want me to give it away? Okay, there might be a salad bowl company in the works. Okay. My favorite kind of bean. Thank you, Bronte. A chickpea. It is my favorite. It's just I use it the most often. Okay. Evan says, is there anything you hate cooking with? I am one of those people that kind of despises mayonnaise. I use it once in the book to make a spicy mayo, and I think I even say in there, like, you know it's worth it because normally I wouldn't be doing this. That's what, yogurt and cottage cheese is for. Okay, Julie, excited for your cookbook. Yay, thank you, Julie. If you want a signed copy, depending on where you are, you can comment shop, you can click a link. The link is also in my Instagram bio. Monica, least favorite shape is bow tie. Yes, because the center never gets cooked. Yes, that's what you're saying. I agree. I promise you, well, I don't like making promises. I don't think you'll ever see bow tie in this on this page. It's not in the book, so don't worry. Okay, so if we were assembling this salad to eat right now, put our greens in the bowl. So we have our crunchy radicchio and romaine. And then we have a big scoop of our salad, which I've been tossing around so that all of it's getting coated in the dressing. And then we have our reserved dressing with the garlic and the pepperoni brine and the oregano. And so this will dress those greens that weren't dressed and also like kind of liven up this part of the salad. So here we have it. I won't make Pat zoom in again. Apparently that was too close. Okay.
Cities you go.
Jay Belize, what cities are you going to for your book tour? I don't know if I'm allowed to say that yet. Okay. If you live in Pittsburgh, I'll definitely be doing an event here. I'll be doing an event in Cincinnati because that's where I'm from. And let's just say at least 3 more that I will be announcing very soon. But tell me, it's not finalized, so you can still tell me if you want me to come to your city. Justin says, can't wait to make this salad. Yay. I'm so glad it looks good because I feel like I'm not doing a very good job of showing you how delicious it is. I'm going to prep, Pat's lunch. So he would take that. Actually, honestly, he could just put that on the bottom, and if we layer it, that's gonna be fine. Put some of this on top. Perfect. And then I'll just send him to work with some of this dressing and his lunch. This was such an efficient live because we now have lunch for the week, and hopefully you learned a little bit about the book. Okay, Bronte is saying Portland, Maine. Chesapeake Socials is saying DC. Sam says this looks amazing. Yay! Okay, you guys, I think that's it. Maybe we'll do one last look through the book. The intro, there's a lot of different philosophies on how much you kind of want to include. Like, do you want to know every single piece of equipment I cook with? Do you want to know my entire life story? So I try to keep it relevant to why I eat this way, when I became a vegetarian, when I started focusing on protein. Then I have a section called Protein Superstars. So instead of just listing vegetarian protein sources, I specifically called out the ones that I felt like really you get the most bang for your buck. And if you like these, it'll be really easy to incorporate them constantly. So you're not trying to like do the math every single meal of how am I getting my protein. You just have these things on hand and you start to learn how to incorporate them. So that's like things like Greek yogurt, hemp seeds, chickpeas, tofu. All of these have how much protein per grams or per ounce, like basically per serving size. Then I did include a go-to groceries section. Obviously there's so many protein groceries now, like protein popcorn, protein water. When I wrote the book, that wasn't necessarily the case, but I called out the ones that I think are legitimate. They're the brands that I use all the time. I stand by them. They taste great. The protein comes from real sources. And then you'll see I have this 2-page spread for every chapter. Both breakfast and lunch have the make ahead component. So we have a make ahead breakfast chapter. We have an in the moment breakfast chapter. Then we have the sandwiches and toasts for lunch and the make ahead salads, which we just cooked from. And then we get into snacks. When I first came up with the snacks chapter, I thought about having like a fridge snacks and a shelf stable snack, because what I really love is having things in the fridge to grab mid-morning or mid-afternoon. We ended up kind of combining them all, but like here's an example. I have how to build a protein bento box. It'll give you ideas for mix and matching things. So you can pull it out. You know you're getting 25 grams of protein with this bento box, ready to go for the week. And then the rest, other than dessert, is all dinner. There's no sides chapter. There's no sauces chapter. And that's because it's built into the meals. Like brown rice bowls with miso butter, mushrooms, and sesame fried eggs. You have your veggie, you have your protein, you have your carb, you have your fat, you have your fiber built into one bowl. So you're not flipping back and forth. It's not saying, now serve this with this. Like I try to think of all my pet peeves in cookbooks and then just not do those. Okay, I guess that is it. Thank you so much for joining. This is my first time going live, so I appreciate you bearing with us. Hopefully I got to most of your questions. If I didn't get to your question, blame Pat, just kidding. I DM me on Instagram and let's chat. I really want you to feel confident you're gonna love this book. So if you have any questions before ordering, that's what to do. Thank you.